Facebook. Just give me a second. Yes, we are live on Facebook also with our this week's edition on, or rather this month's edition of new edition. So go ahead, you start.
Yeah, I was just wondering, as you rightly mentioned before beginning the we talk that since last entire month we talked to so many people. There were so many faces. There were so many things happening together. Suddenly, coming back to you and me again feels like very calm, little different. So whoever has joined, I'm sure that a slight shift or a change you also would be feeling
After a month.
after
Yeah,
a
but
month. Yes.
we are also planning to have guests in this, at least in the last edition. So that's what I've been thinking, at least, Vishruti, that we should invite more people. So if any of our audience who like this theme of this month, which Vishruti is going to share, if you would also like to join us live, we can at least have two more people. So you can let
Yeah,
us know
yeah,
later on. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead,
And also,
Vishruti. Let's start. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
also, I'll share the theme with you. But if you have any queries, any questions also in mind, I think it would be great if all of us together can, any two of us, or maybe any one of you also can just join. And I think it will be beautiful to, I think, discover the journey, how it unfolds together. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the theme of this month, that is July, is very interesting one because we are going to talk about learning style. And most of the time, I was just thinking when I thought about learning style, what were my thoughts? I think because of the kind of conditioning or because of the the way we have been raised, there's very set idea of how we learn or how, let's say, children learn. And that is why the one way to learn has always been the school way kinds, how one thing is taught in one particular way, which is a great way. But when I'm talking about learning styles, in a way it's right away telling you that there are styles, so there is more than one way of looking at this learning itself. So yeah, I think and it's very beautiful for me because I only knew three ways. But when when I shared it with Ratnesh, okay, we can talk about in the first this one way, then second way, and then third way. And Ratnesh is, oh, that's very boring, Vishruti. I don't want to talk about learning styles in that ways. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's a very beautiful question which Ratnesh put and which I also kept in the poster. And whose style, learning style, whose style? So I started wondering, oh yeah, whose style I'm talking about? My style, the scientist style, or what Ratnesh style, or the child style? I don't know. So Ratesh, I want to begin from there only, like learning style and then whose style.
Yeah, actually, I want to begin somewhere else. So, like you, I also got introduced to this concept more as an academic concept, typically done in trainings for teachers. And initially, I thought maybe it is, it makes sense for teachers. Though and I had some background of NLP, so it was kind of matching with that, and the VAK kind of learning style kind of concept. But as I was with children more and more, so the children totally changed my whole idea of what is learning style. And a lot of people might think, why in unparenting we are talking about learning style? Isn't that a teacher topic? Shouldn't you be doing for a group of teachers? Well, I would say, well, that is for teachers or schools to figure out how they look at learning styles. But according to me, it's not a teacher's topic. In the sense, it is obviously equally relevant to teachers because they work with children. But it is so amazingly and you can say important for us as parents. Um, for that matter, anybody who works with children, and if you want to generalize that for anybody who works with anybody. Yeah, right. So yeah, and before we jump into learning styles, I want to little explore what is the meaning for the word style. for you, Vishwati. So let's start with styles. Forget learning styles. What is style? What do you mean when you say
Oh my God.
the word style?
I
Did I catch you
right
unaware?
now. Yes, you did. Because I think yesterday also one of the word that you used, I was right away like model and all. I was right away like stuck with that word, and I was like, oh my God, what is this
Hmm.
trying to say? So I think styling also,
Yes.
the immediate thought with what comes to my mind is yeah, I mean styling, the way you present yourself, the way you look, the way yeah, I mean everything, like even my hand right now I will put that in my styling zone. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So the way you
that's
move
what.
your hands, you are saying while talking, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, while talking,
Yeah.
even the way I
Hmm.
think whatever my expressions and everything is kind of a style that I have, I possess, maybe, I don't know.
And,
Yeah,
and do
yeah.
you have a driving style? As in when you drive a car, do you have a style you
Yeah.
drive?
Yeah.
And do you have an eating style? And do you have a laughing style?
Yeah,
And do
yeah,
you have a
yeah.
sleeping style and a waking up style? Do you
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
scolding style? Well, I haven't experienced it because thankfully you haven't scolded me. But I can ask Vedant. Vedant, what is
Yeah.
your mom's scolding style versus your dad's scolding style?
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, yeah, it's so
Even if the
different, yeah.
content is same, right?
Yeah,
Let us say
yeah.
both of you are angry with him because, let's say, he has not kept back his toys. Let's take some mundane example like that, right? But the style would be very different, or at least
Yeah,
will be
yeah.
will be will be unique. Okay, let's will be unique. Your style will be unique to you. Your husband's style would be unique to him.
Yeah, yeah, totally, yeah.
So, what is style?
Absolutely. Way of doing something. I think a style,
Mm,
and now I'm looking at it as an expression. Um, my connection with something, yeah, yeah. Let's say my connection with the food is my style of eating, the kind of
mm.
connection that I share with my food, my connection with scolding, or my connection with raising a voice.
Okay, so let's say you've been to rivers, right? So do rivers have a style of flowing? Different rivers have different styles, and different
Yeah,
cities have different style of existing,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what is
Absolutely.
style? So I'm kind of
Uh,
pulling you towards this whole thing. I would call it's like my own culture. If I may, if I this is not the culture as in the social culture or
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
religious culture or whatever. I'm saying so like city has a culture or a style, a river has a style. We also have a style, and one way to look at style is this is my culture. Now, this just don't confuse. That's why I like using the word style only. I'll not go to the word culture, but I'm saying it is as wide and deep as the word culture itself, because culture literally embraces and
Everything.
includes everything, right? It doesn't. It isn't about just one thing. It isn't just about language. It isn't just about food. It isn't just about dressing up. It isn't just about families, but it's about everything. So, in the same way, when I look at myself and I say, "What is my culture?" right? And that in some ways is what my style is, which includes how it's not just how I express to the others, how I think inside my mind, how I deal with something, how I respond to some stimulus. As I said, how I laugh inside, not just outside. There's one way to laugh outside, and there is one way to laugh inside when your insides laugh. And so on and so forth. So it's how I think. So it kind of, I would say, it includes everything. It's
Yeah,
like a vast universe by itself. If each one of us can be considered a universe.
yeah, 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 yeah. And I think I am also connecting with it in terms of even appearance. Let's say I would not even discard that idea of style. I think it is part of this style only. um, how I think we generally attach style. So that's also in this only, but now maybe we are just like broadening or widening the whole understanding of this word called style.
Right. And if you then start thinking what is learning, and if you start agreeing with me in some ways that learning is nothing but living, because every time you do something as part of your life, whether you meet new people or meet a new concept or meet a new skill or go to a new place, all the time we are learning. So if learning is same as living, so then learning styles can be translated into living culture.
Living styles. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And
And
obviously, we are talking about my culture, right? Each one of us have a different living culture.
and I think it takes me back to the example of river, that
Hmm.
that learning culture also, or learning style also, will be very flowy.
Yes,
uh,
yes,
yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
if I stick to one, then I mean it has more chances to get corrupted maybe, but um,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
are you there? Now
yeah,
you
yeah,
came
I
back.
am back.
Both the
Yeah, yeah.
devices, I lost you.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
my connection, I don't know, but I think we are back now.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying good that you connect back to river, because one way to understand river is that river is not the same throughout its journey. When it starts in the hills, it is more different. When it comes to the plains and flows through different terrains, it is different. And so at different place it is different, and it is also
yeah.
responding in its own style to where it is right now, right? If it's been a heavy monsoon, it is different. If it's been a light, kind of a drought, it is different. So yeah, so just like that, so good that you connected back to it. We are very different, so our styles are not stationary or fixed or permanent or um, and the
Yeah.
moment we think of it that way, the need to do something about them kind of evaporates, isn't it?
I think it's beautiful that we are talking about this, because I personally very strongly feel that most of the parents, they feel that learning is different than parenting when they are or unparenting or unlearning, whatever we want to call it. But it's very different. But then I very consciously noticed that most of my anxieties, or most of my worries, or most of my concerns for my child, or my struggles or conflicts with my child, they start with my expectation whether my child is learning or no.
So
So
it's all learning related.
yeah, I mean, it's very in, what do you say, very intricately connected, the whole unparenting and the unlearning or learning, whatever part you want to say. It's very very beautifully also, for that matter, connected. And the moment I discard the idea that, oh, it's just about his learning, I'm also kind of disconnecting myself with my parenting or unparenting. So I was thinking that when you are saying this, that we are not the same, or let's say the learning style, or the way of learning, or the looking at learning itself is very flowy. It's very change. It's all the time. It's kind of changing, or it has very different dynamics at different point of times in our life also. It's kind of bringing me back to my experiences with my son, that the whole concept of creating or making learning very amazing or beautiful and all that. So I'm just thinking that how I become stagnant when I'm trying to, like, stick to a style or something. Yeah, I
My
just
style. So
oh.
just let's visualize one thing. Let's say I know your son likes to make a lot of things with Lego blocks, right? So let's imagine he's playing in a room, and not playing, he's working on his Lego blocks. I think that's a better word. He's working on his Lego blocks, doing whatever, making whatever. Now you change, you just enter the room and then sit there. Let's say you are doing something. Let's say you are doing something on the phone. But now, you see, the thing has changed. Till now, he was all alone. Now you have come in. And although you are just sitting there, you're not yet talking to him, this itself will change his style of doing things, or could change his style of doing things, just because now there is mom here. Now assume the dad also comes into the room. Now the dynamics changes further. Now assume three, four more people come, grandparents, some uncle, aunties, somebody else, or another friend comes. Now the further the dynamics changes. Now somebody puts some music in the room. Now further the dynamics changes. Now somebody brings a plate of bhaji and pakoras. Now the dynamics changes. You see, every
Yeah.
little uh, let's say, addition to the environment, which he did not do anything about these additions. He was just there. Even that changes the way we approach our work. Yeah,
Yeah.
and which is why, as you said, it is not stationary. It is fluid, and for each change, we kind of adjust our style. If I adjust is not the right word really, or you can say
We, I
we.
think,
Uh,
we create or
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
create, or we recreate, let's say. Okay, I'm doing it this way now, I'll do more of this, or I'll, because mom has come, because grandmom has come, because my friend has come, because pakoras have come, I may start hurrying up. There's so many things. So that's the beauty of when we start understanding, not just the child, but the whole dynamics of the child's life and learning, right? With this context that everything affects us, everything
Yeah.
is part of the environment, right? There is no even the absence of all of these things. Let's say you start taking out people, then things from the room, and then that itself will be part of the environment, right? So the whether you are
Yeah.
putting in or you are taking out, right? Everything is part of the learning environment, and everything is in that sense affecting the learning style of the learner. Now I have my own way of doing it, and on top of that there are these dynamics that are involved, right? And now you see the whole fun of it, or the party
Give,
going on.
yeah.
I call it the party because it is so dynamic.
Yeah.
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 And then us trying to understand how, and we can only understand if we are not stuck with our own views about, like when a friend comes. Now my view might be, oh, now you should share, now you should call your friend, come, you can also make with me. See how my own styling or my own culture is now, somewhere it's going to
Influencing.
start.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
As of now, maybe not influencing, but starting working first in my mind. And then if I give my son a look, or if he looks at my face and he senses that, then it has started influencing, right? And then if I say something, then it again influences. And now he has to change his channel. No more it is enough to work from his older style. Now he has to work from his new style, which says, oh, mom expects me to invite this friend to play with me, right? There's a
Yeah.
totally new dynamics now. Now new learning style, whatever, has to be called in.
Yeah.
So I hope you are understanding how interesting. Right now I'm not trying to say it is good or bad, because it is neither, but how interesting the whole environment of anybody for that matter is, and how our styles have to be. It's like we have million styles, we cannot even say we have one style, ever changing million styles.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me pause a little.
Ah. Oh my God. So this is very very new perspective for me, and for everybody who have joined us to understand about learning styles. I'm sure they are coming with their preconceived notion of there are three learning styles, that is visual, auditory, kinesthetic. And now here we are kind of understanding or exploring or digging deep that there is no one, two, three, four. There are maybe million styles, and maybe the
Mm,
styles are evolving every moment they are changing their form, their dynamics, everything, every moment. And maybe the child is flowing, and along with the child, maybe we are also flowing.
Hopefully.
Or we
The
are
problem
flying or
is,
jumping.
yeah, the problem is sometimes we suddenly become a wall. Sometimes
Yeah.
we think that this style is the right style or a better style, and then we become the dam in the river flows of the river. We say no, 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 this has to stop here. This has to happen as per what I think, even though I may not myself be following that style. That's the funny part, right? So this is neither my style, this is neither the child nor the child's style. This is some whatever textbook style you may call it, or whatever, some some rule book style or something,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like one of the most common ones is you shouldn't read while lying down, right? I've heard this at least in my childhood, and even otherwise. No, no, no. Especially if it's something to do with studies. If you're lying down and reading a book, no, 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 that's not okay.
Yeah,
You know,
you'll fall asleep. I think that's the very strong belief. You want to say hi?
maybe I don't know
Hi.
what's the belief. I've never really understood it. There comes our style king.
Yeah.
Hi,
You're
Vedant.
welcome. Hi. Okay.
Hi.
You can
So
just
this
sit
is
and listen. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
yeah. So I'm saying, I'm okay. This is one example that just came to my mind. Or you shouldn't be whatever eating in front of TV. Let's say, for example.
Oh, don't mention that.
Okay, did I? Now I got something. So there can be zillion things like that. So I'm not saying there's anything right or wrong. So the moment we get into this whole thing about that this is right and this is wrong, okay, which is fine. I'm not saying that that discussion or debate shouldn't happen. But when we realize that we are all operating from millions of ways of operating or living and million styles, and it's all a kind of a khichdi, right, of all of this, uh, then it's a totally different, like the zillion permutation combinations. Like I say that the dal cooked or the sambar cooked in every house is different. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just the
Even
same
the
way.
chai made. Yeah,
Even the
it's
chai is so different. So in that sense, the way we look at anything, eating, learning, living, every little aspect is so many different ways. And yeah, each one is a beautiful exploration, right? So then the whole approach becomes very, very different, not of one being superior or one being inferior, but one of hopefully at least accepting. If even if I don't understand, I can at least say, okay, that's okay, this is your style and this is my style, right? So there can be an agreement of disagreement kind of thing, or agreement you have a different style and I have a different style, even if there is no deeper understanding, or we can go one level and try and understand it. And uh,
yeah.
yeah, so let me again take a pause.
I think I'm as this is absolutely new for me, and I also maybe come from the same little conventional thoughts that there are three ways, and you can deal with this in three ways, or yeah, all that. But I think what you are saying is connecting me back to Aditi's possibilities ka pitara, I guess. And it was very beautiful. When I used to look at the list, I used to feel, oh my god, I never thought that I can even see pencil from zillion perspectives. Maybe they mention few, but the moment you mention few, you start thinking in that direction. And the moment I started thinking, there were so many other layers to it which started opening or unfolding. So I'm just thinking that, yeah, I mean, there's so much that we can do every moment with single thing in our hand.
Yeah. So let's come back to a little more to whose style, right? Uh, so the conflict often that happens is that okay, first of all, I'm not even, let's say, aware of my style, but I can see that the child is having a style of doing something, as you said, maybe eating food with a device or a TV in front, or whatever, or just pouring lots and lots of water in the bath going on for 10, 15, 20 minutes with lots of songs and lots of dances or whatever, their style, right? And I may have a view on that style, right? So that's where the conflict come. I'm saying, forget, it's not even my style, but it's a matter of conflict between my view on it and the style itself. Are you there with me? So I'm saying there are three things maybe. How I do, let's say how I eat food is one thing. How I think food should be eaten is the second thing. And how the child is eating food is the third thing.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
So the in between is
But
so called the
majorly
right one or
first
the
and so, but majorly first two will be together only. No? If I believe in something, of course, I would be doing
not
that.
necessary, not necessary. That's where
Okay.
I'm coming to. Right. So whose
Okay.
style are we talking about? Yeah, that is why this distinction. Because just because we profess that this is the right way to do it or this is the rule book way of doing it doesn't necessarily mean that we do it. Yeah. Again, it all depends on how our. So just see, that's where we started with that we are ever changing, right? In
Yeah.
that sense, our style also changes. When I'm working, I'm there, I'm doing something. When, let's say, my mother-in-law comes in, or a child comes in into my room, or some anna comes in, or anybody comes in, now even my style changes. It is not
Yeah.
fixed, right? Right.
So
So
true.
so now which one is the right one? You tell me, the one which I was doing alone and the one which I did with my mother-in-law. So if
Yeah.
I myself have one or two or maybe 10, 15, 20 styles, right? Let's say of eating, I may eat differently when I'm sitting with my spouse, right? In a let's say very romantic mood, and I may eat very differently when I'm in a full fight mood with my spouse,
Yeah.
right? Aren't there two styles of eating? Same me sitting with the same hubby or wife, but my eating style is different because my mental environment is different today.
Yeah. 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 The
Right?
equation is very different. Yeah.
The questions are different.
वो
Right now,
plus
I'm
से पूरा
very upset
minus हो
with
गया.
my spouse, and the other time, I'm in a very romantic mood with my spouse. Now, if my two styles are different, which one is the right one? Neither.
Yeah.
Right? Neither is the right one. Because I'm
Trap.
sure we
Yeah.
can go to a third style and a fourth style and a fifth style when I'm with a large group of, very important
Or
people.
maybe
I
when
might
we
be,
are in the cinema hall and eating a lot of popcorn and whatever nachos
yes,
and yeah.
yeah, gob, gob, gob. So what I'm trying to point out is that we cannot say that it's the first and the third category, my style versus the child style. There's this big rule book in between. The right way of doing something, the rule book or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what to call it. So I think that is what troubles the more, right? If I realize that I myself have a million styles, then there is no superimposing of my style on the other style. Or even if I superimpose, I superimpose as a choice, as an invitation. Right? Suppose I think that a certain thing has to be done in a certain way, and I do it, let's say sometimes at least. So I can then offer, oh, you can do it this way also,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But then that is offered as a choice because I myself use it as a choice. When I'm upset, I don't use that choice. When I'm romantic, I use that as a choice, right? Or whatever. Are
Yeah.
you getting me? So this it is not just my style versus the child style. It is my style, child style, and this whole thing about the right style, so to say, and which is what actually causes the bigger problem than the my style was. So yeah, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts? Let me pause.
Okay, I am seeing this from a little unparenting perspective, but I'm still trying to understand a little more about the learning itself. I mean, yeah, when I'm talking about the way child walks or eats, um, is maybe one way of, yeah, I mean it's there, but I'm still thinking from, let's say, if the child is experimenting with something, if child is curious about something, how do I connect with the same thing, that there is no one way but there are many ways? If you can give some example, or if whatever comes to your mind right now.
Yeah, see, okay, wait. What I'm trying to say is that if I realize that I myself have many styles, then
Hmm.
I can extrapolate it to say that the child will also have many styles,
Hmm.
right? Okay,
Hmm.
then I can say maybe there is no right style, and hence there is
Hmm.
no need to go into this third channel of the rule book or the right style. Okay. Then I'm operating from many styles, child is operating from many styles, and we can together further explore even more styles. I can learn from the child is invariably learning from me, at least in the younger ages, even in the older ages. We are actually learning from each other. Even we pick up our spouse's style after marriage and so on. You might have
Yeah.
noticed that where our spouses pick up our style of even
Yeah.
folding a bed sheet, even hanging our clothes, even little things, or they may continue in their style and we get totally bugged with that. Right? So what I'm trying to say is that this realization, this whose style, if I start saying the child should be a photocopy of me, then I need a million copies, right? Because I am million me, I have million styles, I have so many different styles of doing so many different things, which is why I gave you that romantic versus fighting mode styles of me versus with my
Yeah.
spouse, right?
Yeah.
Or with
Yeah.
my friends or in my office or whatever. So if I myself, you know, in one chat group I
Are
chat
you
in one.
having a lot of sound by Vedat? Should I just ask him?
No, no, not at
No,
all.
you're
In
not,
fact, now
right?
that you pointed out, I realize he's behind you.
Okay,
Otherwise,
no,
I didn't
because
even
he's
realize.
talking constantly. He's saying some
Uh,
dialogues.
that's his style right now. Perfect. We just need to look behind to all for to get all the examples. We don't need to look elsewhere. Vishruti just has to go out of the camera and we'll see a live example of
Yeah.
what our styles look.
So many styles. Oh my god. Yeah, yeah.
So I hope you are getting that it is to do with our understanding of first that whose style are we talking about, and somewhere we need to leave this rule book because it doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything. The rule
Yeah.
book does not have the million different environments that I go through in my daily life. The rule book
Yeah.
tends to say there is one right way of doing it, which is just not possible. So I can't do the same way when my spouse is around, when my five family members, elderly family members are around, when 20 children are around. I'm different. My styles
Yeah.
are totally different.
Yeah. So true. In fact, when you are saying this, I just realized that, like, generally we have a lot of discussions about screen times with him, but since almost like 8, 9, maybe 10 days now, I don't remember, but he somehow saw that this one scene of one Cars movie, and then he was just with that film for 5, 6, 7 days, 8 days, and he kept watching it again and again, again and again and again and again. So I was thinking, why is he watching? But I was kind of, going slow. I was like, okay, let something will come, when the time is right. Almost
Hmm.
from the third day or second day, he started saying that some sounds from his mouth, some three, four kind of different sounds. And he continued almost after 2, 3 days. Me and my husband, we realized that he's creating some background score of that film in his own voice. And after almost 5, 6 days, he is so passionate that he just wants to listen to that music. And then he also saw that how that music is plays. And then one day he was, when listening to the music, he started telling you, "Mama, this is violin. Oh, Mama, this is piano," and all that. And I'm still, in that. I haven't reached anywhere. I feel, but I'm just still flowing, with so many things happening in his mind and in his behavior. See, right now also he's making the same sound in the background. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I was just thinking that, I don't know how this whole idea of capturing the background score in his mind has come from. And I could have never thought that at this stage of his life, he would explore a background score of a film, and that to a particular background score that he is so, like, right now at this stage of his life, is so passionate about. So
Right.
I think this kind of, when we are talking, I'm also realizing that there are 10,000 things that he's doing it in his own way, in his own style. And he's observing also. Maybe the observation also is one of the style that we have, and it's very, very different. So
Yeah.
from like for each one of us. So I'm just thinking that the way he looks at certain things and the way I look at certain things are so drastically different that am I really capable enough to share with him my style? I don't even know about his styles. So
Yeah, and
thinking,
you with this beautiful example, uh, you also underlined the very aspect of learning. Now, the learning is totally driven by his styles of, let's say, looking at that movie, of filtering out certain things out of the movie, of giving more importance or getting more interested in certain things, then translating it into doing something with that. A lot is happening inside, some are happening outside, which we can observe. So a whole very complex machinery of learning, which is completely tainted in all kinds of his styles, is present in front of you,
yeah,
right? And all of that is leading to learnings at so many different levels of skills, of abilities, of concepts, of so many things. I mean, I can go on and on. We can dissect this whole thing into its thing, but that's not really required, because intuitively we understand how beautiful this whole complex process is, and
yeah,
how, yeah, it's beautifully complex, right?
yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't need to have an output, it doesn't need to have anything. It is just it's like a beautiful song or a beautiful universe in cacophony inside, right? In complete turbulence and inside how the universe keeps moving. Yeah.
I also want to add this simple thing which I just I haven't paid a lot of attention to it, and I've just kept it like that as it is, because don't want to
Hmm.
dissect it anymore. But to my surprise, I have set up my whole studio at home, my personal studio. So the day I did that, I fixed everything, and I was experimenting and doing a lot of things with the software and all that. He said, I want to record. I said, okay. And he was like, it must be the fifth or sixth or whatever day, I don't know. And he took the mic, and for next 16 minutes, Ratnesh, he kept talking about something. I don't know what it was. And then I started realizing after third, fourth minute that he was saying whole dialogue of the film. Oh, I don't
In the
have to go
movie.
there. Oh, okay, okay. And he kept on doing that for next 16 minutes. And I'm just there, and me and my husband are looking at each other. What is he doing? And then I realized that, and then he said, oh, I said the whole story. I'm like, okay. With some background score in between, with so many dialogues, with his accent, I don't know. And then when it came out, I started thinking, and I kept the piece aside as my memory. But then I was thinking that what's happening, at what speed? Oh no. We are just enjoying whatever is happening as of now, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, which is why I said, don't think learning is happening, think life is happening. I think that's
Oh,
much better way of understanding this whole thing, because
yeah,
yeah, we don't really learn. We more live, and learning
yeah,
becomes then a natural, you can say, part of the whole process.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I think it's a good time to pause with just
yeah,
this thought that whether we want to stay, whether we want to look into how our styles, million our styles are, or we want to look at the child styles, or we want to look at the right style of anything. We are
or
not
whether we
trying
want
to
to really
say,
question there is any rights, like, we really want to question whether there is any right style or
I
no.
don't know, I have no idea. Uh, but just leaving it as that, and letting people figure out how they want to look at themselves and their children or people around them, and this whole concept of right style. We are not, I'm just putting a disclaimer here. I'm not trying to say that if somebody is doing something which is let's say, hurtful or harmful, that one shouldn't do anything about it. We will come to that. But even
Yeah,
before we come to that, we need to first maybe just realize that I myself is made up of so many styles, and
yeah,
hence it just doesn't make sense to operate from right wrong. Yes, it can make sense to do with value adding. So in the next couple of sessions, at least we can look at, now that if we have this basic understanding, how do we get deeper into it, in the sense of how can we value add both to ourselves and to our child and to our relationship and to the child's learning of anything, uh,
yeah, yeah,
whether it's
yeah.
emotions, whether it's social level, whether it's academics, or whether it's how to ride a bike or play cricket or whatever it is. Right? So we can explore the next two Thursdays on that, and then in the last one we can get some at least couple of parents to join us, and we can have what they think and take it like a group thing. What do you
Yeah,
say?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I also want to, whatever you say, just to add to that, when we are saying that, when he said a disclaimer that, we are not saying that whatever you are doing or whatever your style is wrong or something. It's just more about, if, yeah, I think more about, if there is any right style in my mind about even learning, then that is still one option. I mean, that is there.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think,
absolutely.
yeah, I think what we are trying to explore here is more options, that, if there
Yeah,
is one style you can definitely follow, that is there. I mean, even the conventional style or the school style or the teacher style, all the styles are beautiful and they are always welcome. But there are more styles, and if we really want to, from inside you feel that I want to explore, I at least want to know, forget about executing or thinking or doing it actually. If you want to know, I think that's why I think we both are here, and it is
right.
Ratnesh what he's trying to bring in. Yeah,
And if you need to know more styles, just look into yourself. You yourself are operating from many styles. You don't even need to look at your child. You yourself will discover from one to at least 50, 60 in yourself. And then you'll discover another 60 in your spouse, and then another 60 in
perfect.
your child. There you go. At 180 already reached.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true. That's perfect. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, lovely. I think there are a couple of people on Instagram. They say thank you and a very profound, or this is so amazing to know. I guess I didn't interrupt in between, so I don't know how this is not happening.
Sure, sure.
Okay. So yeah, I think we hear you, and thank you so much for
Yeah,
letting
and we
us
can
know
we
that it's
can get
beautiful.
into the
Yeah.
questions, because now today was not really about what to do, but about to just sit back and understand what we are talking about. So next two sessions we can have it more interactive, where people can also share, because it's not just we. When we start looking at the value addition, we'll realize all of us are already doing it. So we can just learn again from ourselves. So it's not something which is there and I know better or somebody else knows better. We all together know a lot, and we can pool together and learn from each other. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
next
And
Thursday 4 o'clock we can do that. Next two
yeah,
Thursdays.
yeah. And I just want to add one point which just came to my mind,
Sure,
that
sure.
uh, I think it's not also about figuring out what is your child's style of learning. It's more
Yeah.
about, a lot of time we just jump into the situation, and we suppress or we stop that style, thinking that I have a style kinds. So lot of time it is more about, are we being conscious about, do I really have to jump in, do I really have to tell him, do I really have to show him the right way, or am I able to figure out that, oh, this is his way, or this is, he's already figuring out his own way, something like that. I think that's why this whole discussion is happening. So it's not
Mm.
that,
Mm.
you don't have to take that pressure that you have to figure out your child's learning style the way I haven't been able to figure out what his style is.
Have you
But
figured out your own style?
bang on, Ratnesh, trapped. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
no need to
sure.
figure out anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So yes, we'll
good.
we'll see with
So,
more possibilities, and with more how, maybe. Today we talked
yes,
about what it is, and maybe in the next two sessions we are going to discover how with the Ginny Ratnesh.
And Genie Vishnuki and Genie, all the genies that will
All
join
the
us.
genies that have joined. Yeah, yeah. Lovely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank
Chalo,
you. Thank
thanks.
you so much,
Yeah.
Ratnesh. Yeah, yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.